Hello there and welcome to Chris's Retro Corner. I'm Chris, this is my Retro Corner, and this is my Commodore Amiga A500. I believe I got this for Christmas 1988, which would make me 13. Now, the Amiga A500 had been out for a couple of years before I got hold of one, so this was probably quite a late model board. I remember flicking through magazine adverts on the lead up to getting one of these, thinking it was an absolutely amazing machine. It looked gorgeous, it looked brilliant. It boasted 4096 colour graphics on screen at once, stereo sound, Motorola 68000 processor, running at 7 megahertz or just over. It was a very, very capable machine, and not particularly expensive at the time. I believe I paid somewhere in the region of £299 for this, which was pretty competitive. A lot of friends at the time were moving from the Commodore 64 and the Sinclair Spectrum to either this, the A500, or the Atari 520 ST. So you can imagine that the childhood battles in the playground carried over from the 64 and the Speccy into these two new worthy rivals. I remember distinctly having that one friend at college who always seemed to have the latest game for one of these, and needless to say, my collection grew just a little bit as a result of that friendship. So having a quick look, you can see it's a pretty grotty. It's not on the best of Nick worst luck. Have a quick look around. It's very yellowed across the front, and if we take the floppy drive off, that's where I used to keep my external floppy drive. So I've got DF0, DF1, a few bits of blue tack for holding that in there. We'll take that out of the way, and you can see the original colour underneath. If I get an air of yellow, and there's the nice Amiga beige there, you'll see it's suffered somewhat for being out, sort of exposed to sunlight in my room. Quite a light place to be. I've got 3 very large windows in my bedroom, which was at the end of the house. It was originally an extension, and I sort of commandeered it off my dad, who was using it as a workshop for sort of carpentry and bits and pieces and whatnot, and sort of announced that I wanted to use this as my bedroom, and slowly but surely worked my way in there. But yeah, it's got an awful lot of sunshine. Very yellowed, especially across the bottom here as well. So I'm going to look at what I can do about that. There's a few things we can do. First up, let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look around. Again, here you can see very yellow versus not particularly yellow at all. If I turn that quite quickly, you'll see exactly what I'm on about. Spangly bright beige. I don't know if beige can be described as spangly, but yeah, underneath. Just having a quick look round the machine there. I don't recall opening this up at any point in the past, but I guess I must have done, because I've definitely broken the warranty seal there, and also at the front of the keyboard there. So definitely had a snoop in the past, but yeah, really what I remember of the inside of this, I couldn't write on a postage stamp. I'll have to crack it open at some point and have a quick look. I'm keen to know what revision motherboard's in there, just because the later model boards have got a few problem fixes and whatnot. It is an A500. It's not a plus, so it hasn't got battery in there. I have got a 512k chip RAM expansion in the trapdoor underneath, and that gives this device a megabyte of chip RAM. So it wasn't bad at the time. I have another video in which we have a very quick look at a GVP Impact 2 drive that goes on the SCSI port and onto the side of the device. And that one there, that had 4 megabytes of RAM internally on there, so 1 gig. I've gone all modern on a new school on you. So I had 1 meg of chip RAM internally and 4 meg of fast RAM, giving it a total of 5, which is pretty good. I think the Amiga would only support up to 9 megabytes of RAM in the first place. So let's have a look at cleaning this up, seeing if we can get it looking just a little bit better. Okay, and after that quick vacuuming, I don't think it's made hardly any difference whatsoever. So let's get to work and just give this a little bit of a going over with very mild detergent. These markings here, I've got an idea about these. If anyone has seen the 8-bit guy rejuvenating some old hardware, you may know there's a trick that I'll try on that one. Yikes. Not good at all. Well, not ideal, but starting to get there. Being security conscious as a kid, I had a sticker just here with my childhood address on it, and was kind of hoping, I guess, that if anybody was to be mean enough to steal my Amiga away, I'd get it back. So that would help. I'm not entirely sure that that was the case. Let's see what we can do to get this blue tack off. I didn't like things sliding around, so once I got it in the right place, it was a bit of glue tack, and that would stop it sliding around the desk. Starting to look an awful lot better now. So let's have a closer look at trying to clean the keyboard up. Fresh cloth. More cleaning solution. There we go. Certainly think that's looking a lot better than it did do only a very short time ago. And now for that trick I was talking about. Okay, let's have a closer look at these darker marks. Now, I referred earlier to the 8-bit guy. He uses baking soda. In the UK we don't have baking soda, we have baking powder. So I'm going to pop some of this into a little pot. We don't need much at all. And then just use a cotton bud. So I'm going to put some of this on here. Now this is supposed to act as a mild abrasive. I haven't tried this before. So we're doing this for the first time together. Hopefully I don't muck up my Amiga. I don't know if that's coming off at all or not. Yeah, it's definitely getting a little lighter. Yep. There we go, first time I've tried that. Seems to work rather well. Apparently one of those magic sponge erasers works particularly well also. But if you haven't got one of those to hand, it does seem that the baking powder works pretty well. Like I say, it acts as a mild abrasive, so you do want to be a little cautious with your application. Let's see what we can do with these marks here. You can see there, that's almost gone. Lovely. Missed that bit there, look. Super. Now all we need to do, through the magic of video editing, is do a side-by-side comparison, or maybe a wipe, and see what this looked like a little earlier. Well, it definitely looks better than it did before. It's not ideal, but it's a solid start. I look forward to getting this back up and running, possibly doing a GoTech conversion on this, as I'm a little wary about the internal floppy disk on this, and also of course using some 30-year-old media on this computer. So thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again in another video soon.